On in Bojo, Mr. McLeod Mondaya. Let's get started. So VII words, negative Bform paradigms. So just like we've had in previous lessons where we've had positive sentence and negative sentences, same goes for Bform paradigms. We'll have positive Bform paradigms and also negative. So recap. In the last lesson, we learned how to inflect VI words that ended in vowel sounds, D or T sounds, and N sounds into Bform positive phrases. Just like in A form, where we have both positive and negative phrases, same goes for Bform. Today we will learn how to inflect our VI words into negative Bform inflections. So negative versus positive. So positive means something is happening, whereas negative means something is not happening. Keyword not. Which of the following phrases is positive and negative? Phrase A. The phone is broken. Phrase B. The phone is not broken. The correct answer is phrase B because it contains the negative word not. This lets us know that something is not happening, ergo negative. What does Bform mean? Bform can be understood as subordinate clauses. Subordinate clause means a phrase that requires more information to be a complete thought or to make sense on its own. For example, which phrase makes sense on its own without further information? When the phone is broken? Or the phone is broken. So the correct answer is the phone is broken. That is a complete thought on its own. When the phone is broken needs more information to make sense. Ojibwe Bform inflections. Just as we learned in the previous lesson, Bform inflections usually get triggered by grammar patterns. Some words that trigger Bform inflections are apegish, which means I wish, onwe, which means even though, onde means where, ondewenje means why, gishpin means if, je means to or so, jebois means before, and megwa means while, and p means when. Just like our positive Bform inflections, we only use suffixes to inflect our VII words. Unlike our negative A form inflections, we do not use any variation of the word gawin in our phrases. So we don't use gone, caw, gawin, etc. Do not use those words in this lesson. Negative Bform paradigms for VI words that end in vowel sounds. The example we will be using is bikshka, it is broken. So we have our paradigms here. Third person singular will be our VI word plus the suffix snug. So that's for singular. Third person plural will be the same thing, just the verb plus the suffix snug. And then our fourth person, as we learned last lesson, is could be both singular or plural, will be our verb plus the suffix sninig. So here are our examples. So if we were going to say if the box is not broken, notice how we're using the grammar pattern if, gishpin and if, and then to make our phrase negative, we're using the negative word not. So if the box is not broken. So that in Ojibwe is Gishbin mkuk bikshka snug. Gishbin mkuk bikshka snug. Notice how the verb is italicized, just like in our paradigm, and then the suffix snug is attached right onto the verb. So we have Gishbin if mkuk the box, bikshka snug if it's not broken. Moving on to third person plural. So we're just trying to build on our knowledge here, so we're not changing any of the words. We're just adding the necessary suffixes to learn our plurals. So we got if the boxes are not broken. So again, we got gishbin for if. Mkuk is box, but mkuk un is boxes. We have our verb bikshka, it is broken, and then we have our suffix, our negative B form suffix snug. So altogether, that's gishbin mkukun bikshka snug. Gishbin mkukun bikshka snug. Moving on to our fourth person sentences or phrases. Again, we're using the same grammar pattern. We're going to be using John as our third person. His box is the fourth person. So Gishbin is if. John is John. Mkuk is box, but mkuk un is his box. Bikshka, broken. Sninig is his or her thing is broken. Or not broken. So altogether, Gishbin John mkukan bikshka sninig. Gishbin John mkukan bikshka sninig. So again, that can be both singular and plural. Either John's box is broken or his boxes are not broken. Sorry about that. These sentences are negative, so they dealing with things not being broken. So I tried underlining the plural suffix here and the plural or fourth person suffix here, just to let you know that you still need to do this. You still need to add these suffixes to these nouns. All right, moving on. So negative B form paradigms for VI words that end in D or T sounds. So in this example, the D has been grayed a bit. Now I do that to illustrate that we're going to drop this sound. So make sure that when you use VI words that end in a D or T sound, you make sure to drop this sound. Don't say it, don't write it. All right, so moving on, we have our B form suffixes, and they're the same as the last type of verb. So third person singular, we're just going to tag on snug to the end of the verb. So we're going to replace that D sound with snug. For third person plural, we're going to have the noun pluralized. Then our verb, which is moshnem gud, it is full. And then we're going to drop that D sound for the B form suffix, snug. We are going to drop that D sound and use snug in its place. For fourth person, again, it can act as singular or plural. It needs context to differentiate. So we're going to have our noun with its fourth person suffix or the plural suffix. Then we're going to have our verb, moshnem gud. But we're going to drop that D or T sound, in this case a D, for sninig. So we're going to replace this D sound with sninig. So let's see how the examples demonstrate this. So our English example, we're still using the grammar pattern if. So if the box is not full. All right. So gishbin is if. Mkuk is box. Moshnem gud is full. But snug makes it not full. So notice how there's no D here because we replace it with snug. That's why this is gray. You drop or you replace the D sound with snug. So altogether, that's gishbin imkuk moshnem ga snug. Gishbin imkuk moshnem ga snug. Moving on to its plural counterpart. So that's if the boxes are not full. So we got gishbin is if, mkuk is box, but mkukun is boxes. Then we have our verb, moshnem gud, but we replace the D sound here with snug. That's why there's no D here. We replace it with snug. All right, so that makes it negative as well and completes our Bform phrase. So altogether, that's gishbin mkukun moshnem ga snug. Moving on to our fourth person, we have if John's box is not full. So we're using gishbin for if. John. Mkuk is box, but mkukun is his box or his boxes. And then we have our verb, moshnem gud. But we drop this D sound for the Bform suffix, sninig. So again, we replace this D sound with our Bform suffixes, snug or sninig. In this case, it was sninig. So altogether, this phrase is gishbin John mkukun moshnem ga sninig. Gishbin John mkukun moshnem ga sninig. And so that sentence can either be singular or plural. So the Ojibwe is pronounced the exact same for these two, but we need previous information to understand if we're talking about one box or multiple boxes. Moving on. So negative Bform paradigms for VI words that end in N sounds. This is a typo. It should say N sounds. So we're using our verb sin, meaning it is open. So this paradigm is a little bit different in that we replace the S sound in snug from before with a Z, znug. So third person singular, we're gonna have our noun, our inanimate noun in its singular form, then our verb, sin, and then we're gonna tack on the suffix, the negative Bform suffix, znug. And then we're gonna have our third person plural. So we're going to have our inanimate noun pluralized with the appropriate suffix, followed by our VI word, sin, followed by the negative Bform suffix, snug or znug. And then for fourth person, we're going to have our inanimate noun plus its plural suffix. Then we're going to have our VI word, sin, followed by the negative Bform suffix, zninig. So let's see how these examples demonstrate this. So again, we're using the same grammar pattern, if, using the same noun as before, box, but we're changing the verb. So last time we used full, now we're using open. So we got gishbin here is our Bform grammar pattern. So gishbin means if, mkuk means box, sin is our verb meaning open, and then we have our negative Bform suffix, znug. So altogether we have Ich bin im Kuk, Jasin znug. That's our third person singular. Moving on to our third person plural. So it's if the boxes are not open. So again, Ich bin means if. Mkukun means boxes, or mkuk means box. Mkukun means boxes. Then we have jasin for open. But we have our negative Bform suffix, znug. So altogether, that's Ich bin mkukun jasin znug. Ich bin mkukun jasin znug. Moving on to our fourth person sentences, or phrases, we have if John's box is not open. So we have Ich bin is if, John is John, mkuk is box, but mkukun is his or her box. Jasin is open, and then we have our negative Bform suffix, zninig, at the end of our verb. So altogether, that's Ich bin John mkukun jasin zninig. Ich bin John mkukun jasin zninig. So altogether, or slower there, it's Ich bin John mkukun jasin zninig. And so that's how you would pronounce the singular and the plural at this. They sound the same. So again, you need previous information to distinguish if your noun is box or boxes. So in summary, our negative Bform inflections for VII words. We use grammar patterns that are triggered by keywords. Those are our words like Ich bin, if, p, when, apagish, I wish, etc. Unlike A form, we do not use any variation of the word gawin in our phrases. Not one time did one of our phrases include the word gawin in today's lesson, so do not use gawin at all in our sentences. We distinguish that our verbs are negative through the suffixes. For our inflections, we only use suffixes. That's for Bform. For third person, you can distinguish plurality of the noun by examining the noun's n for a plural suffix. So we're looking for suffixes like an, un, iin, in, and oon, on. You can only distinguish plurality based on context for fourth person. So if I were to give you a fourth person phrase in Bform, negative or positive, you can translate it as singular or plural. Either or is correct. So VI words that end in D or T sounds, drop the D or T sound. I can't stress this enough. Drop the D or T sound in place of the suffix. VI words that end in N sounds are the only VI words that inflect with a Z sound instead of a S sound, like the other VI words. So VI words that end in N sounds use znug or zninig, whereas VI words that end in vowel sounds or DRT sounds use snug or sninig. Me for now. That's it for our lesson. Now moving on to our worksheet. All right, so we're starting off the worksheet with a true or false right off the bat. So circle Debwewin, true, if the English matches the Ojibwe. If you circle Ginwemwin, provide the correct English translation for the Ojibwe. So this first one is Bikshka, they are broken. So we know that if we're writing they, you have to pluralize the verb, but this verb isn't pluralized. We pluralize the verb by adding either a WAAN or an OON to the end of our verb, and this has neither. So this is incorrect. So we gotta circle this one here, and then you can highlight that or whatever. So provide the correct English translation for the Ojibwe. So Bikshka does not mean they are broken. So we command copy into the dictionary just to see what it is. So Bikshka is it is broken. So we're talking about this verb is a singular verb, not a plural verb. This is a plural pronoun. That is why we had to translate it as it is broken. So I'll leave the rest of these for you to go through and do on your own. All right. So multiple choice. Wenamdam gyak kidwin kidwinning. So again, these are just the instructions for multiple choice. You guys should know how to answer multiple choice questions. So this first one here is command 1. So I'm just going to command and paste into our dictionary in case you don't remember, but hopefully you do and you don't need the dictionary for this. So command 1 means it is raining. All right. So we have A, it is mild. That's incorrect. B, it is foggy. That's incorrect. C, it is sunny. Also not what we're looking for. And D, it is raining. So this is the correct one, so we can highlight that. All right, so I will leave the rest of these for you to do on your own. All right, so question 3. Identify all 3 types of VI words and list one example of each. You can find them from our Near North District School Board Nipissing Ojibwe Dictionary in OneDrive. Provide the English translation for each word, for each of your new words. So you are to use the dictionary to provide new examples of our 3 types of VI words. So those are the ones that end in vowel sounds, ones that end in N sounds, and ones that end in D or T sounds. So you can do that in the dictionary here. So let's see here. I'm just copying and pasting the same phrase here so we can, so it's less work. All right, so VI words that end in vowel sounds, we can look that up in the dictionary. So again, you can just type in maybe AA, that's a popular one. So you're going to have all these AAs highlight. So you're going to hit dash space VII. And so you have all these different examples here. So I'm going to use gapa, which means frail. All right, we replace that AA with a D sound. Let's hear knees on it. There we go. That's dangerous. It is dangerous. And then our last one is ones that end with N sounds. So we're going to drop that D for an N sound there in our search. Let's see here. Let's use zone gun. So zone gun means it's solid or sturdy. If it has multiple translations, you can just pick one. All right. So you are going to have to pick your own example verbs. So just do as I did in the dictionary and find your own. Next one, we are matching the correct Bform suffixes to our verbs. So the words align with the previous English phrases. So these words match the English here. We just need to attach the right suffixes to these. So don't worry if you don't know these words, they'll match up. So, and these also don't include the nouns. So these are just verbs here. So we're not worrying about the verbs in these sentences here in front. We just want the verbs to line up. So Ojibwe means it is loud, which is right here, loud. So we're talking about the TV as being loud. So we just need third person singular, which is right here. There's a K. We know that third person singular in Bform is just a G ending. So you put a K right there. Oops. And then cross that out here. So we don't use that anymore. So you can go through the rest of these. So remember, our VI words end in D sounds. They're gray here because we dropped them from our speech. We replace them with our Bform endings. So these are Bform positive phrases here. We're not doing negative yet. This is just refreshing our lesson from last week about positive Bform. Next one, we have match the Bform grammar pattern words to the translations. So we have a space here to fill in with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So on with, you can go back to your last lesson here. And we can look for on with means even though. Right there. So we're looking for even though, which is D. All right, so I'll leave the rest of these for you to do. All right. Number 6. Do Bform sentences need "goin" in the sentence to be negative? Let's see here. Does it need "goin"? I'll let you figure that out and answer it here. All right. So question 7, Akano tan wasne ejajagna shimyan means translate these into English. So we have ondowenje ngwan kwa snug nungum. So we know we got a Bform grammar pattern here, ondowenje. We got a Bform negative suffix here, snug. We know this word is today or now. And so this is our verb, ngwan kwa, and it should be, we can look that up here, see what pops up in the dictionary to see what kind of ending it has. Oh, so there's a D sound in there. Oh, okay. And so the Bform replaced that D or T sound. Okay. So we have ondowenje. You can look that up here. So ondowenje means why. Okay. So we have why is today. That's what nongum is, today. And then we have not, because it's negative. And then ngwan kwat, which is cloudy. So that's everything translated there. Why is today not cloudy? Alright, so I'll leave the rest of these for you guys to do. You have the dictionary to look up any words that you're struggling with. Alright, so now we have Akhenaten Wasna Eja Nishnaabemwin. So these are, translate these into Ojibwe. So we have, why aren't the boxes rolling? Kind of a weird question to be asking, but trying to deal with words that you guys are familiar with. You know the word for box and boxes. You know the word for rolling. And you know the word for why. So that was our last grammar pattern we covered here, ondowenje. So ondowenje. Oops. So ondowenje has a hyphen on it because we immediately put the verb here. So that our verb here is rolling, which is jabobte. Then we need our Bform suffix. So there's no fourth person here. It's just third person, plural, but all right. So we have ondowenje, jabobte, and then our, let's see here. What is, so jabobte is a VI word that ends in a vowel sound. It's third person plural, so we just use the suffix snug, just like in this example here. So snug. And then we have our noun, which is boxes. So again, if you don't know that word, we can look it up here. Box. Right here. So kuk is a singular box, but we have that S in brackets, just like this an is our plural suffix. So the word is kukan. So that's how you translate. Why aren't the boxes rolling? Ondowenje jabopte snug mkakan. Alright. I'll leave the rest of these for you to do, and hope you guys have a good week. Talk to you later.